This is an audio demonstration of Doom music running in DosBox-Adlib-SoundBlaster audio. So this is the native sound that you'd expect to hear with Doom in DosBox, as well as that music available for an external music app, or ZDoom or GZDoom, which is what I use as my chosen Doom source port, or any other Doom source port for that matter. No changes have been made to the original music, nothing changed to the original Midi file or the instruments, but I've done a really small, quick mastering process just to each track to try and just bring the most out of the audio on my available hardware, to be honest. So keeping that original Doom Adlib-SoundBlaster music exactly the same, just getting the most out of it. Now, to get a full comparison, users are going to be able to just run Doom in DosBox with Adlib themselves, so they can hear the entire soundtrack that way. I'm going to demonstrate E1M1 because that's the common one. You'll be able to see the differences. I'll jump from DosBox to GZDoom on that, and then I'll also do a comparison of E1M9 soundtrack, because that contains a particularly problematic instrument at the start of the track, which is either a cymbal or a reverse cymbal, maybe even a snare in there overlapping as well. As I didn't want to change any original Midi instruments, I had to make a significant amount of changes in that in comparison to the rest of the tracks. So overall they do all remain the same, but you'll notice a lot more difference with the overall sound of E1M9, and that's just because trying to remove the nasty hissing, sandy cymbal sound that's within it also caused me to then have to make other changes to make sure that the rest of the dynamic range was still available within the entire track. Now I'll play through episode 1, E1M1, do the comparison, do the same for E1M9, and I'll let the tracks play in full. Users watching on YouTube will just be able to skip the video back and sort of compare them themselves, rather than me jumping back and forth every couple of seconds to show the comparison. And for the rest of the playthrough, I'm going to play E1M2 to E1M8 with the full audio that I've remastered, if you want to call it that. I'm also going to demonstrate a couple of my mods that I made last year and have just added one or two things to this year, just so that there's like some visuals that just make it too boring to watch, and for anyone interested in watching Doom gameplay and Doom mods. I'm going to try and avoid the visual distractions for the first two maps, and then we'll go from just playing as normal for GZDoom, and I'll explain the mods in detail as the maps end. So I'll pause between each map once the track's been listened to and I change tracks and change maps, and then I'll just describe a little bit about the content that's used within it. So hopefully it'll be pretty cool for people. If anybody wants to do the same, I can either upload my scripts to Adobe Soundbooth, but I'll go into detail at the end of the video for the rest of the stuff. So we'll boot up DosBox, we'll do E1M1. hopefully the differences are pretty clear there, although not too different, just sounding better. And we'll do the same with E1M9, and you'll be able to hear the nasty cymbal noise, the hissing sandy snake noise at the beginning, and the kind of cleaned up, hopefully better version that I put in, which I wouldn't have really had to do if it wasn't for the fact that playing it through GZ Doom also creates a much worse sound. So okay, so that should give a pretty good comparison of those two maps, and now I'll play through E1M2 to E1M8, and people who are interested may notice a few differences with the default maps and sort of the content that I've got in there, but I tried to keep the game what I call vanilla with sprinkles, so that's just exactly as the developers intended really, but with a lot of the common fixes that most of the Doom community would do anyway. As well as some little personal touches for myself. So I can first of all do away with my DOSBox version. I will upload that if anybody wants it, sans the Doom content. Obviously you can just add your own Doom game there for the people that own it, but I now no longer need this inferior ad-lib sound in DOSBox. The next time I play DOSBox Doom, we'll be using what I've set up as a Gravis Ultrasound DOSBox with just as many versions of Gravis Ultrasound as I can test. So that should be pretty fun for that, but for this play obviously we'll focus on the Adlib-SoundBlaster version, and I'm running GZ Doom 4.3.3 I think we'll use. Now 3.0 is there just for Gravis Ultrasound, but I really do not like any of the available sound options for the Sourceports at all, so I prefer to do it my way in this way and keep that original DOSBox sound. And my little folder for my mods is going to be somewhere, so look, but there. Okay, so this is all of my stuff. Again, everything is pretty much vanilla with sprinkles. So just before we get into the soundtrack, I actually wanted to do this myself, which was be able to switch maps, keep all your inventory. Again, these are all common things that I expect a lot of people would have done themselves. So this next map 2 command is actually available online by some user. If I ever post all of this content, I'll leave the full credits are in the WODs anyway. And I've done the same then for the secret maps, so that you can just play the 4 secret maps in a row, or in case you miss one out, you still get to keep your items that you've collected along the way, depending on, doesn't matter what episode you're on. Now I've also got one for skipping the music track, starting health with 999 as a D-hack test. I've got some ambient creatures in there. Now as part of my vanilla with sprinkles pack, rather than just staring at the same Doom content, The barrels, for example, I just added some variety, but I don't like the idea of just having loads of colourful Doom things and loads of random things outside of Doom. Everything is just the official stuff that's available, and then just using the power of the GZ Doom engine. This little mod here is irrelevant, and we've got my Doom 1 changes, Doom 2 changes. Level effects is irrelevant at the moment because I haven't implemented it. Map packs won't apply to this. The menu you may see now and again. This is the music WAD. Obviously the file size is huge because I'm using massive WAV files, but I'll probably go down to about 40 to 50 megabyte if you were to do it in MP3, and maybe even less, to be honest. And you can ignore the other stuff. Now the official monsters, this is just a variety pack again, vanilla with sprinkles, keeping everything default. So we've got a little bit of blood changes there, common changes you'll see in the Doom World forums and everywhere else. Everybody does the same. We've got the Doom dogs that are available with MBF and default to GZ Doom. I've got my cool little mod which I'll pop in for Commander Keen, and we've got some RPG variation monsters in there because I feel that these again add some much needed variety to the official content that's available. Sprites to go with it. My Another Lost Soul mod, which has been on ModDB for quite a while now, which again provides official monster variety to the Pain Elemental and Lost Soul spawns, and everything else we'll just go through as we come across. Enjoy. Now, just to switch it up a bit so that it's not too boring, I'll pop my summon list on the side so that people can get a general idea of what I've got here. And I'm also just going to adjust music a little bit to have surround sound and the crystallizer, and we'll put Dolby Digital as well because DBS is no good. Now these changes obviously won't be within the WAV files or the WAV files if I was to upload them, although these files are of personal preference. It's just a note to say that the audio may change slightly as a result of this through the direct sound that you're listening to. Okay, so for anyone who's still watching this, I'll probably round it up in about 30 minutes, and I just demonstrate this map because I do particularly like the synth and the noise of it, and I really enjoy this kind of conversion process and the result that's come out on this particular map. So I'm just going to quickly boot up DosBox again. It's the demo map.